Hey guys, welcome to another Dimitri Hydro Angler video. Today's video is about rod repairs, and this is something quite new for me, but I just said I would just bring you guys with me along this process. So today I have about 3 different rods, or one, two, three, four, yeah, 4 different rods. Alright, so this rod you guys may know from previous videos if you've been watching me for a while. This is a Crocodile 10-foot rod. There's nothing wrong with it presently, but I've caught my biggest tarpon on it, I must say that. But you see this rod, once you start fighting a fish with it, it bends from all the way down here. It bends. Last time I fought a fish on it was a Sunday. I was out with Taz Marty, and I hooked up a tarpon between the bridges, and it went under the bridge, and I just couldn't bring it back because the rod itself doesn't have a backbone. Nonetheless, I've caught my biggest fish on it, which was a 30-pound tarpon, and it was paired with a Shakespeare reel. I think at the time I was using about 95-pound braid with a 80-pound mono. It was overkill for the reel, but I mean, I was just into fishing, just got into it. So what I plan to do with this rod is to pair it with this pen rod that I have here. This was my first good rod that I got when I just started fishing. My uncle, big up yourself, Uncle Curtis, otherwise called Pops. I call him Pops because he's like my dad. He runs CARICOM Freight. I big him up every time whenever we're doing any videos. So he sent me this pen rod, and it was the boss. I caught my biggest, when I started fishing, I caught my biggest jack on this one, which was 9.5 pounds, almost 10 pounds, and that was at Hillshaw. When I just started fishing at Causeway, I brought it out there one night, was using cut bait, did not know much about the Causeway Bridge, and I ended up hooking up a gigantic stingray, and I ended up high sticking the rod, and it broke in many pieces. This was the only piece that I was left with. It was a reel and rod combo, so I still have the pen rod reel, and it works very well just the same. So big up yourself again, Uncle Curtis. What I'm gonna do with this part is actually pair it with this section of the crocodile rod. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut off here and then join it back and just make a one-piece rod. And I'll probably just use it for micro fishing. I probably will test it out to see if it can handle big fish. So yeah, so that's what we're doing today. Additionally, I got this rod from Jay-Z. He was trying to send it back, but for some reason he wasn't getting a refund, and I don't know, I just fell in love with the rod, and I just decided that I wanted it to fix and use, and he gave me the privilege of doing so. What he also did was give me another rod, which I'm going to use or try to improvise to actually fix this one. So what I plan to do, because this is a one-piece rod, this piece fits perfectly here, so I'm probably just gonna cut off a piece of this rod and then join it back somewhere here, and then put some epoxy right here on it. And I think this is a one-piece 8-foot rod. I think it's either 8-foot or 9-foot rod, but I'll just confirm with Jonathan. So big up yourself, Jay-Z Fishing. I'm not sure, this is a Shimano rod, so I definitely go give this part back to him, because you know, people can't, we can't buy Shimano expensive. That I know that's out of my price bracket. So yeah guys, so I'm gonna be fixing these rods. I'm gonna do them one at a time, but I'm gonna do the epoxy at the same time. So what I have here is a Dremel set that I bought a few years ago during COVID. I usually just use a oxsaw blade, but I can't find the oxsaw at the moment, and I just wanted to make this video since I'm home. We have a brush for the resin that we're going to use. We have glue sticks, and the glue stick that we have here is just to join the rod in the initial phase. We have our scissors, we have the lighter for the glue stick, we have the braided lines that we're going to use to wrap it, and then I have shoe glue or super glue that I'm going to put over the braided line after wrapping it, and then I'm going to use the epoxy. So you guys stay tuned and I'm going to show you that process. Alright guys, so I'm getting the Dremel ready. I bought this during COVID. I was trying to brainstorm ways on how to make money during COVID, and I thought I would make rock jewelry. So I bought this to make jewelry during COVID. Didn't ended up doing much of it though, so yeah, it comes in handy now. So I think this is the cutting blade for it. It should be the cutting blade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to about here and cut this to about right here, and then see if I can join them together. Alright, so come along with me along the process and let's see how. Alright, so the Dremel is a bit noisy, but it has different speeds. I think this one is a Westinghouse. You guys might hear background noise because it is a holiday and everyone is home, so just bear with me. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut it now. Hopefully I can get some straight cuts so that I don't have to be doing it over and over again. Alright, so let's get chopping. Sorry, speed it up. So that's what we're looking for. I just needed a perfect cut here. Alright, so that part is done. And then now I think I'm gonna cut it. Let me see. I think I'm gonna cut it about here. Right here. Yes. I might be spoiling this rod, I don't know, but at this point it is what it is. Alright guys, so this is what I wanted. Just a nice straight cut. I'm gonna see if it fits. It may not fit. Nope. And I really don't want to cut this any lower, you know. So what I might do, I'll see if I can shave this down. I think that would be the best thing to do. Shave it down so it can fit. So I think I should have some sandpaper. Let me go find it. Or should the Dremel be able to work? Possibly. Let me see what I have in the toolbox. Probably one of these sanding grits. Or even this. Let me even try this first. Alright. Let us check it. Is it crazy if it works? I don't think so. People, this is going to be the ultimate. Wow. Is it crazy if it works? You see that? And I didn't even have to file on so much height, you know. But guess what? I'm making a good rod. Alright, so this is my pen / crocodile mix. So I'm just gonna get a reel put on it, make sure I say everything line up before I start wrapping it, and before I put any glue on the rod itself to keep it in place. Alright, so give me a sec, let me grab a reel. Alright guys, so this is how it would look. Quite interesting. So I'm gonna put some glue on this section now and then put them together. And if you know a better way of doing this, you can always let me know in the comments. This is just my way. I am just improvising. So this is, I believe this is a Gorilla glue stick. I know Gorilla makes one of the best adhesive products. So I'm just heating it up enough so that I can get a lot. And then just hurry up and insert it before it dries. It's going to be kind of hard to insert. Oh, people, I probably might have to knock it. I believe the glue was too. Yeah. Probably want to twist a little bit. People, this is probably the craziest MacGyvering I've done in a while. Yeah. Kinda lean still. Trying to strain it, but you're not giving me any turn on it. But to me, look at it. You guys think it's straight enough? I think it's straight enough for me. Yeah, it is straight enough for me. Alright, so yeah. Alright people, so that section of it is done. What I typically do next is I like to wrap it with braided line. If I lose any of my line from my reels, what I typically do, I get a bottle, any type of bottle, plastic bottle, wrap it up on it and try to save it for times like this where I might have to replace a guide or just do any type of work on the reel itself. So some persons like to give it a knot. I think this is good enough for me. This is how I usually do it, and then I just try to lock the knot or the wrap. This might be harder. Probably just drop that on the floor. Can probably take this off now. So I'm going to start wrapping it from all the way down here because I want I think it's best for me to put it as well. Probably I think probably this amount should be good. And people, I do apologize if my video is kind of distracting. I'm trying my best to make a good video. Alright, so here you have it. I usually just tie it like that. Sometimes I'll give it an actual knot, but I want this one to be flawless. So I usually just come around with it, keep the tension on it. Professionals use a rod holder. I'm not sure what it's called. You can tell me in the comments the name of it. But they have a machine that they will spin the rod in and do this. And I want them as tight as possible. still have the pen reel. I'm not sure if I'll put it back on this though. I doubt it, because I put that pen reel, it's a Penrod 5000. I put that one on a Blue Runner Optics rod that I have. So I still have that Blue Runner reel. I think that one is a 5000 as well. So I might just put it back on this. I try my best to keep as much tension on it as possible. And as I said, I just want a really neat wrap. Hoping you guys can see it properly. This one here. I just try to pull it down wherever I see any space. So I think this line that I'm using to wrap it is a 65-pound braided line beyond braid that I had cut from my Penn Pursuit 8000 that I have this line on. So it's going good. I don't think I had to start from so far though, but at this point I can't really turn back. Just have to follow through. So how are you looking so far, guys? How is it looking? I have some double wraps, but over. A guy at Causeway did the same thing, and he calls his Frankenstein. He used a different rod, the bottom of a different rod, and put the crocodile, top piece of the crocodile on it, and he calls it his Frankenstein. Seeing it in action as well, he caught a, yeah, it was a 8 or 9 pound snook on it, so it did damage, that much I can see. The only drawback with this now is that it's gonna be hard to bring. So that's the only thing with one piece rods, is that it doesn't have the versatility as a two-piece rod where you can just pull it down and it's easy to transport. Two-piece rods are longer. You have to have enough space in the vehicle to bring them. Alright, so this part kind of messy, but it's because it's a drop down really. So I think I'm gonna put some more on it. Start like from about here and then go to about here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Alright, so stay tuned. Alright guys, I've never tried this method before, but I see where you can do this to get the line nice and neat. Once you're wrapping it, once you reach to the end of it, this part not neat, I must say that much. So let's see if I can get it under here. Just get it under. I needed more wraps though. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna glue this section, cut off this tagging, glue this section of it, and then start from about here, come back all the way down. and then afterwards I can epoxy it. So just get rid of this tagging, and then I just usually coat it with the glue. Trust me, once I put this on it, I'm not going anywhere. I see people just use this without using epoxy, and it works quite fine, but I just like having the epoxy on it as a precaution, extra security. And then with this type of repair that I'm doing, it definitely should have epoxy on it. So yeah, just gonna give that a few minutes to dry, and then we'll add the next layer. Line from about here, tight into about there, and then we can epoxy. So this is one that I did. This is the first one that I've ever did. This was a guide repair. I used 30-pound braided on this one, and then epoxy it. It wasn't bad. And this rod is a complete fiberglass rod, so that's why you hear me say when it bends from the handle, all the way from the handle. Alright, so not so bad so far, coming along just well. Alright, so stay tuned, guys. Alright guys, I decided to work on this rod while the other one dries, while the glue on the other one dries. So I just want a perfect cut off here. So I'm gonna cut it off and then cut off this here. This rod just broke while Jonathan made a cast. Probably it was just a factory fault, but we're gonna fix it and see what we can catch on it. Alright, so we just need something to go in between. I think we just need a piece of this really. And then we need to about cut off about this section. I'd say about right here. I'd say about right here should be good. And we are not doing any measurement, I'm just eyeballing it. I think about right here should be good. Just cut off more to be safe. Let us see if it fits. Please fit, please fit. Like you want to cut down some more now. Like you want it shorter. Nope. So I probably need to cut it around here. Probably need to cut it around here, but I go have to get rid of these wool guides, or the wrap for the wool guides. Either that or I might have to cut this around, go a little bit further down with this, probably around here, I think I might probably do that instead. Do I want to do that? Let me see first. Come on, bruv. Alright, I might have to do the same thing. Come on. I never want to cut this side again, that's the issue. I really never want to cut this side again. Alright, let's try one more time. Come on, bro. Oh wow. people. Oh my god, you see the issue now? Shave it down too much. But let me see if I can. Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in this section first and then join it back. Usually I'll do this on the stove, but since I'm making a video, can't do that. Or I would have a glue gun, but I can't find a glue gun right now. And I think this is my last glue stick. Might have to knot this in just like the other one. Wow, it's not giving me anymore. Alright, so that's it for this. So I got it to fit. But I think what I go do, I go put most of the glue on the top section of it rather than on the lower section. And remember, I am not a professional. This is just me MacGyvering something to fix the rod. Alright. That shit is hot. Yeah. So that's it. I'm just trying to get rid of the excessive glue. And I am positive this will not break again. Not at this section, that much I can see, not at this section. And I'm not sure which reel I'll put on this. I have this reel which is a 7000 Chinese reel. Does sound good, but I mean the reel, the handle itself is plastic and very cheap. We don't usually use them. We usually just use them once or twice and then part them. Just use them for parts. Yeah peeps, I'm gonna wrap it now. Just gonna use the same 65 pound grade. And just give it a nice neat wrap. Just try to scrape off all the glue so that I'm not wrapping any glue under the line. But I am quite positive this won't break again. Thing with this, once you start wrapping it and you keep the tension, it won't move again. Usually what I'll do, so that it's not obvious that it's broken or it was broken, is I'll just spray paint it afterwards. Use a spray paint that's close to the color. Usually it's black. I'll just tip some spray paint on it. So if anyone comes and sees the rod, they can't tell it was broken. Only you. Unless they're examining it very closely. Just trying to keep my ropes tight. Funny thing is, it might not be as neat on the other side because they're really just focusing on this side. But oh well. Sure say not gonna way. It's not as clean as others that I've done, but I am positive it will work. I say just try to do it as neat as possible and keep the tension on it. think this is a good casting rod for lower casting. But one thing Jonathan was saying is that it's soft so that you don't get to set the hook as you want, but you can use it for drop line fishing or set line fishing, but not lure fishing. What I should have done was cut a piece of this from before. I think I should be able to use the same piece. Yep. And then this is just what I saw on YouTube, so don't quote me on this. So you put this piece under, so when you give it the next set of wraps, when you finish, you can send back the line through this. Alright guys, so my GoPro battery died, but this is the finished product. Well, semi-finished. Just cut this off, and then I'll get the glue, and then I'll just tip some glue on it. Actually neater than how I thought it would come out. So what the glue does is just lock the line, just lock it in place, and then epoxy is just that additional support for it, or the main support I should say. But yeah, so the other one should be dry by now. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one to dry, and then finish working on the other one. Alright guys, so we've reached a more technical part of the video, and this is the fiber resin. So this is what men who work on boats, this is what they use. This is the hardener. Typically about 2 ounces of hardener does 5 gallons of resin. So really we just need a drop of this. That's actually too much. So the more hardener you use, is the faster the resin dries. Some people say hardener, some people say dryer. And it's just a piece of stick that I have to mix it around. So I had this resin from I was fixing a boat, so it actually started to harden on its own without the dryer because I've had it so long, and then I've used it twice before without properly closing the bottle. So that's another reason why it started to dry so quickly. Just adding a few more drops to it. If you use too much hardener or dryer, then it will start to have a chemical reaction. It will start to get hot, and then it might explode. I've seen it explode already. I mixed some in a cork and used a lot of hardener, and it actually made the cork explode. Quite interesting. Don't know what the chemical composition is. Please don't ask me, I'm not good at chemistry. Alright, so I think I'll go start with this one. I typically use a brush to do it. Sometimes I've even just use this. Just use the same piece of stick. But when you use the brush, you get a neater finish. So I have a nail brush here. And when you use this, you want to put it in some alcohol right after, so that you can save the brush. You can have the brush to use another time. So you just coat it around. Just go around with it. And the reason why I use so much hardener this time is, once you put the hardener on it, if you don't mix it with a lot of, once you put the resin in it, And the reason why I mix it like this is once you put the resin on it, you have to continuously turn the rod to get an even finish. But the more hardener in it, the less you have to turn the rod. So that one is done. I will try to do the other one same time without even taking that one from off of the table. Let's see how best I can do this. And as I say, it's not going anywhere. I've fixed rod guides and I've used the same technique, and trust me, it's a good fix. So you just want a nice thick even coat. One thing I can recommend is if you have asthma or any respiratory illness, please wear a mask and goggles, because it does burn your eyes as well. So the resin itself, it has a strong smell. And that's it. That is it. So because I'm not turning it, I might end up with a bulge on the underside, but I just like to have a thick even coat. And it's best to do this while it's sunny, so you can just put it in the sun to dry. I'm doing this in the evening, so not sure how long it will take to dry. Probably by later this evening it will fully dry. So see this one is quite perfect. I just go put a little bit more on the lower section just to lock in that braid down there. And it's really not expensive to do this fix up by on your own, you know. You see what I was telling you about, you have to constantly turn it. So you see it started dripping. That's why I put the cloth down there right away. So usually I'll just turn and just keep turning it until it spreads out evenly and it kind of coil where I can put it down for it to dry on its own. But I think I will put a little bit more on the lower section of it so I can just lock in that braid. And as I say, I am not a professional, this is just my DIY improvising. And yeah, I have the money to go buy no dark matter and the big name brand rod them, so I just use what I have and the more budget friendly fishing. And really, you're just wasting money every time your rod break. You just go throw it away and buy a new one, unless you're a perfectionist. And I guarantee you this not going anywhere, and I'm definitely gonna catch a big fish on these rods. So what I'll do, I'll just keep rotating it so it gets an even finish. I might have to do I'm going to do the same thing with the other one now because I see where it's dripping. And just like that, we have a new rod. I'm definitely gonna string this up, and I think I'll probably just show you guys all the setups that I have. I think I'll put this back up here. And I'm just gonna give this one some turns. Might touch a little bit right there. And guys, majority of my rods are 8 feet. I think the crocodile rod that I just cut to make the I don't want to call it Frankenstein, I don't want to steal anybody's rod name, but the one that I just did and attached to that pin was 10 foot or 10 feet, whichever. And then I have a next rod which is also a 10 footer, which is a Pen Pursuit 4. I think that was the first big rod that I bought. So this one not as neat, but it can work. And as I say, I'm sure I'm gonna catch something big on them. As rod fishing and knife with Kemaru would I say, and snapper from Fishing World 876. I know if. And I just want to say big up Jay-Z Fishing JA once more. He's the one that gave me this rod. You yourself, bro. I'm sure I will catch something good on this. And he might snook master, he might the real snook master, you know. So I'm sure say it's a nice snook me I will pick up on this. I'm sure. I know if. Alright guys, so stay tuned till they dry. Think what I go do, I go pack up in the meantime. And then I'll just set out my rods. I have majority of them set out already, but I'll just set them out and show you guys what my setups are. Alright, stay tuned. Alright guys, tell me how I did. It's not so bad, still drying though. Still need to dry some more and into the next one over here, but trust me, go see these rods in action. As promised, I was gonna show you the rest of my rods. So this one, big up Jonathan again from Jay-Z Fishing JA. He gave me this rod. It's an overhead rod. I have my Pen Senator that I use on this, and we use this one for trolling. This rod is my brother's rod. This is the first rod that I bought him. This is an Eagle Claw surf rod medium. I think the line on it is probably a 10 or 15 pound line. Eagle Claw reel, I think this one is about 5,000 there about, or 4,000. Yeah, this one I got from Hypro. This one is also a medium diver. I think I bought this one from Hypro at the time. I have an Eagle Claw reel on it with 10 or 15 pound line. I think this is about 15 pound that we use for drop line fishing. Just realizing that the line shapes and need to sort that out. So yeah, I think this one I paid about, I don't remember, so don't quote me, I don't remember. So those two I use for drop line fishing. Get shrimp and you put them on the hook, throw it out, you wait for fish. So those two I use for micro fishing. Alright, so this one now is my Chaos King Brutus, and I paired it with a Chaos King Megatron reel, 40-pound braid. Right now I have a NLBN lure that Jonathan gave me. Haven't caught anything on it as yet. Yeah, so this I think is a 8-foot. Biggest fish I've caught on this so far is a Jack Crevalle, and at the time I was trolling, I think it was about 7 or 8 pounds. This now is big game 8-foot, and I pair it with a Penn Pursuit 4, 50-pound braided line, 5,000 reel. Currently use this one for casting my lure. They call this one the spoon. In Jamaica we call it the champs. So this one I caught 8-pound Jack Crevalle last week on it. Very nice setup, very easy to manage, very budget friendly as well. Big game rods are quite good. This one is also a big game that I have. Same combination, Penn Pursuit 4, 5,000, 50-pound braid. This one I use as a float line from the bridge. This one I actually was repairing the guide, and I ended up burning the rod, so I had to repair it. What I did was put piece of this inside it. So this is a welding rod. So just like how you see me repair the other 2 rods, I did the same thing. Put this inside of it and then wrap it and use the resin on it. I caught a lot of fish on this one already. I think the last fish I caught on this rod was the barracuda when I went trolling with the guys from Portland, Fishing World 876. I was on his boat when I caught that barra. Alright, so this one is a Quantum Optics Blue Runner with paired with a Penn Rat 5,000 reel with 50-pound braid. This one is also set up for float line fishing. This pen came from off of this rod over here, but I'm not going to put it back on it. I think I like this setup, so I'm going to keep it. This is a 10-foot heavy Penn Pursuit 4, and it's coupled with a 8,000 reel, 65-pound braid. This is probably the biggest setup I have, and I use float line on this float line setup to catch mostly either kingfish or jacks or tarpon. All these rods, no, let me not say all, from this section to here are medium heavy. Those 2 are medium. This one is heavy. This is also another Eagle Claw that I bought from High Pro. It's paired at Abu Garcia 6000, 40-pound braided line, and I have a drop line set up for snook on this one. So usually we put live shrimp on it and put it at the column foot of the bridge. This I'm not sure which rod, which brand is this. I got this from somebody. This says South Bend. Alright, so this is a South Bend rod. I believe it's either medium or medium heavy. I'm not sure. All the markings are scraped off because I use this mostly on the bridge. I usually put it on the ground before I had made the stands. I use this for drop line fishing with a 2 hook at the end. Typically what you can catch is like jack, any bottom feeding, let me not say, seafloor feeding fish. Alright, so I'm not sure what size line this is. I took this line off a old reel. I think this is about a 30-pound braided line, and this is a 6,000 Abu Garcia. I also have, I think, 30-pound backing behind this braided. This now is just a Zebco. I think this is about a 8-foot as well, or no, this is a 5. Ooh, my god, this is a 5'6", and I use this mainly for bait fishing. I usually put the sabiki on this and probably jig some bait. Yeah, so that's my setup. Mostly budget friendly setups. I think probably the most expensive thing would be this, and I think I paid $98 for this setup. For the Pen Pursuits, I bought one and actually got two. Same thing for the Abu Garcias, I bought one and ended up with two. As I mentioned, the Penrod, I got that as a gift from my uncle. This one, the Blue Runner Quantum Optics, it was the first rod I bought, and I bought it from Re-Rods on Hillshire Road. The Eagle Claw, I bought it for my brother, and then I didn't buy the other one. I got the other one as a Christmas gift from a co-worker. Yeah. And then this one now, this Daiwa, I bought it as well from Hypro Whitemore. So that's my setups for now. I don't think I get in any other setups. I have one setup on the way, which my brother bought for me last summer, but it was shipped during the time of Hurricane Melissa, so I haven't gotten it as yet because it was a sea shipment. But I might just pair that with, I have a 10,000 Chinese reel. I might just put it on that. For these now, I have the Shakespeare that I might just put on this one. Shakespeare is I think 6-pound braided line on it, and I have another Shakespeare that I bought from Rod Fishing, and I think that one has 30 and 50 pound on it braided. I might just put it on this and use these for snook fishing or just float line, who knows. But yeah guys, that's the end of my video. Thanks for watching. I'll be posting more videos, just been busy with work, as you guys probably figured. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys in another video.